Good morning, everyone. I want to be respectful of everyone's time and get us started on the hour. We have a lot to share with you today, so we're excited, very excited to do that. Um, want to welcome all of our members, our vendor partners, and other supporters who are joining us today. And we're sure others will join in. We had a great number that were pre-registered, so we're excited to see everyone. Again, welcome to the National Society of IT Service Providers second quarter all members meeting. I am Nicole Singleton Norman, and I serve as the Executive Director for NSITSP. And today it is my pleasure to host our gathering. Your commitment to our organization and to the IT services industry is invaluable, and I want to express my gratitude for your continued engagement, support, your volunteering, and input, feedback, everything that you're doing to make this organization great and continue to grow it. So thank you for being here. Together we are shaping the future of IT services, and I'm just continue to be excited about where we're going as an organization. Uh, at this time, I want to remind you of a few guiding principles and some of our logistical points for this meeting. Always be reminded that our vision at NSITSP is to be the definitive voice of the IT services industry, setting the gold standard for professionalism. We welcome the public to join us in this discussion, reflecting our commitment to inclusivity and transparency. Our meeting today aligns directly with our code of ethics and the vision and mission of our organization, which you can always review on our website at nsitsp.org, and it's right on our homepage. Please note that we are recording this meeting to share with those who have not yet logged in or cannot attend today. It will be available on our website as well as on our YouTube channel. Now, for those who prefer not to be recorded, you have the option to turn off your camera and microphone. We definitely respect your privacy and provide you with the control to make the choice, but we are hoping that you will engage with us. We will have a Q&A discussion at the end, so we do hope that you will choose to engage with us. The recording will be available again on our website at nsitsp.org /meetings. And then also we will make this available on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com /NSITSP. And I will provide that information here shortly in our chat. When we post our recordings, we provide those with full transcriptions to ensure accessibility to all of our members. So you'll see that again on our website and on our YouTube channel. So let's take a look at what we have planned for today's meeting. We will begin with an executive report, either from our president, Amy Babinchak, or from our vice president, Heather Johnson, who will share the highlights and achievements of this past quarter. You'll see that NSITSP has been very busy. You're probably seeing that with the email communications and the social media posts as well. Following this executive address, we will hear important announcements and updates from our committees. We have set aside time for an open discussion and a Q&A session where we invite your thoughts and questions. So definitely be encouraged to come off mute or post in chat. We definitely want to hear from you. And finally, we will conclude with a look at upcoming events and initiatives, as well as ways you can get more involved with NSITSP. At this time, I'm going to have Heather, or I see Amy actually is online. So I'm now honored to introduce Amy Babinchak, who is the president of NSITSP. And Amy's leadership has been instrumental in steering our organization towards our continued goals. Today, she will provide us with an overview of the significant milestones we've accomplished so far this year. Please join in welcoming Amy. Thanks, Amy. I see Amy logged in, but she may not be fully logged in. Heather, if you would like to continue.
Sure, I'm happy to continue. Maybe we want to give Amy a little bit of time. We can skip and come back. Oh, she's just wrote in the chat. She'll do her part a little bit later in the meeting. So maybe we'll come back to Amy when she is able to join us and be able to talk and not be in her car.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks, Amy. Thanks, Heather. So I'm going to actually continue on at this time, and I'm going to just jump ahead and we'll come back. Wanted to just provide you with a brief management report from the headquarters office of NSITSP. And as we celebrate our third year, our organization is growing. And I'm thrilled to let you know that we're on the cusp of a significant milestone with 995 members across our various membership levels. As a growing and active organization, we're eager to surpass the 1,000 member mark. I promise you, I'm logging in every day to see where we are. But your referrals as members are crucial. So we invite you to invite your colleagues that you know who would benefit from our discussions, from our webinars, and all of the membership benefits that we afford IT service providers. We encourage you to let them know about NSITSP and help us bypass that mark here very quickly. Additionally, I want to bring to your attention, and each of the committee chairs will go into greater depth about this, but as the executive director, I personally want to encourage you to get involved in the organization. It's anything that you do, the more you're involved you are, the more you will get out of it. We have some great volunteer opportunities, and I wanted to focus in on two of those today. One is you'll hear from our various committees, and I'm asking that you take a look, even come visit us at our committee meetings. If you visit our website, nsitsp.org, and look for upcoming meetings, you'll see the meeting schedule there. And again, I'm sure our committee chairs will highlight those. But we have a few committees, and we have a special announcement from a new one today. And I do encourage you to consider that. If you're interested, please drop me an email or our team an email to admin@nsitsp.org. Again, admin@nsitsp.org. Now, there's another opportunity. We see many of you from time to time at industry events. And we're always looking for champions and ambassadors to further help us grow the organization and to support NSITSP. There's a number of events on the horizon. We have our vendor partners, SMB, TechFest, and Channel Pro, who allow us to exhibit during their industry events. And we invite our members to come out and to support us at the NSITSP booths. So if you plan to attend any of these events, please let's collaborate just so that we can continue to build upon our goals and objectives as an association, but then also maximize our impact as a community. So if you're interested and you know that you'll be in attendance at any of those events, please also just shoot me a quick email. We will definitely prep you. It's a very easy process, but it definitely will be beneficial for you as well. At this time, I'm going to just continue on to highlight some of our most recent webinars. And if you have not caught these live, we do ask that you visit our website. We've had some just phenomenal programs, whether it was highlighting CMMC, talking about the benefits of knowing the value of your company, and doing some benchmarking, things of that nature. And then also a very important conversation about culture. So there's some key nuggets in every one of those sessions. So if you've not attended any of these, I definitely encourage you to visit our website. And that's where we will post all of our webinars. And then also stay tuned. Our marketing team has a number of other webinars coming up soon. So please, please stay aware. We do post these under upcoming meetings. So you'll find the registration for our webinars there. We also post these via social media. And through social media, we will announce upcoming webinars. And we encourage you to share that as well. The Legislative Committee also hosts every first Tuesday of the month. So our next is June 4th. And you just missed yesterday's, which was actually very, very powerful, very dynamic discussion and talks about what's going on across the country in our industry. But we do encourage you, if you have not attended, or if it's been a while since you have, please join us at this legislative Q&A. It honestly impacts all of us, all of our companies. So put this on your calendar as a standing meeting, because as you know, things are constantly changing. So you want to be in the know. So please, please register and plan to attend that event. Also, I want you just to be aware that we hold this quarterly meeting every 2 months. This next meeting is, or excuse me, every quarter, but the second Wednesday of each quarter. So our next session is scheduled for August 14th. August 14th. And so go ahead and mark your calendars for that. You will see some information about that coming out on our website and emails so that you can pre-register for that as well. But we do ask that you just note our upcoming sessions. We do have some standing meetings, and this one is very, as we continue to grow and evolve, you'll get the highlights for sure during our quarterly meetings. And then if you've not joined our community online, we encourage you to do so. We have a presence on most social media platforms, or at least some key social media platforms, being Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So feel free to screenshot this or go to our website to link directly. And then I mentioned before, there are other events. I saw Carl indicate other organizations that we partner with and exhibit, but here are some that are upcoming. And I know, for example, this week we will have a presence at SMB Tech Fest. So if you're going to SMB Tech Fest, we want to meet up with you. Let me know. Please post in chat for this week's SMB Tech Fest. It'd be great to know that our members are going to be present and who's going to be present. So please give me a shout out in our meeting chat, if you would. And then also, I want to recognize our current vendor partners. We could not be where we are today without the ongoing support of our vendor partner program. If you know of any vendor partners or vendors that should be partners with NSITSP to further the mission of the organization, please let us know, and you know, feel free to do the introduction, and we'd love to connect. But at this time, I definitely want to sincerely thank all of our vendor partners for their continued support. And at this time, I'm going to ask Heather if she would introduce our committees and their reports for this meeting.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I love getting to do this little part about committees because I love committees. It's a kind of a weird thing to say, but if you've never been on a committee, you might want to try it out because it's actually wonderful. You get to work with a bunch of people from different backgrounds, coming up with ideas to problems that you probably maybe didn't think about before, you didn't realize was a problem, but you kind of figure it out together. And then you get to come to these meetings and see, wow, we had a little part to do with this webinar that they had, or we had something to do with this great decision that was made. And it makes you feel really good. It's not a huge time commitment, but you're doing something really great. And as Nicole said, the more you get involved, the more you get out of it. So if you've never been in a committee before, don't think, oh, I don't have committee experience, I can't do that. Do it. You don't need to have been on a committee before. We'll get you all set. You'll be set. You'll be a pro in no time. You're going to want to be on all of the committees. So consider it. You don't have to have a financial background or a marketing background. Just get involved with your ideas and thoughts and help us out. I think you'll really be glad that you did. I don't think I've met a committee member here yet that said, "Oh, that was awful. Why did you say I should do that?" So I'm going to just go with that and hope you all sign up because it's a great thing to do. So I'm going to send over to our first report for our first committee, Finance Committee, to Tracy Harden.
Thanks, Heather. And on that note from Heather, yes, the Finance Committee is looking for new members. So if you're interested in how NSITSP spends our money, where it's being spent, or even question it, this is the committee for you. You do not have to have any accounting experience whatsoever. All we need from you is to have you care about the money that comes into this program. Right now, we are working on reviewing and updating the vendor partner program, and that may seem like an odd thing for us to do, but we are very involved in all things money. And right now, budget work will be towards the end of this year. We'll work on that. So right now, we have time to, we're looking at improving our vendor partner program to attract more vendors, but yet keep a balance. We don't want NSITSP to be controlled by any one or two vendors, but we want a balance of how vendors can work with us. And as an MSP owner, I'm very interested in the vendors that do work with us. What are they offering for us as MSPs? We always think about what are they getting, but what are we getting as MSPs from these vendors that come in? So I'm putting some stuff together that I'll be presenting to the board here very soon. And hopefully that will bring more vendors to the table and bring more things for us as MSPs to offer some benefits for us as well with these vendors. And that's what we're working on now. So please, if you're interested, and Heather, what's the best way if they want to volunteer, what's the best way that they can contact us to do that?
I believe that's admin@nsitsp.org. I did it right. Carl had
Or
me on.
any member of the board or anybody that's associated with the board or committee, you can holler at them too. I'm sure they'll point you in the right direction. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Tracy. Sounds like you're doing some great stuff. And that's an example of a group that works so well together and has such a great time solving problems or looking for other problems to solve while they're not doing their main problems. So that's an example of what I'm talking about. Next, we're going to go to the Governance Committee with Jason Thomas.
Thank you, Heather. The governance committee has been busy with setting up new guidelines and badges for something to be announced later in the webinar here. In the meantime, yes, just like all the other committees, we can always use more help and members. The next big area that's coming up again would be in the next quarter, getting ready for our elections that happen in the fall. We've got a great core group of people, but we're always looking for more. And it's great now to join a committee and then get on the ballot for a position on those committees in the fall for the upcoming year. If you have any questions for the governance committee, happy to take those. Just send me a message here or on the NSITSP website. We can all communicate there as well. Otherwise, I'll give it right back to you, Heather. These are not very busy days for governance at the moment, but we'll get there these next quarter.
Absolutely. You're going to be very busy at election time, I'm sure. So
yep.
Thank you for all you're doing. Bring us to the Legislative Committee with Dennis Wilson.
And I think I've got myself unmuted now, so I can go ahead. Legislative committee has been very busy over the last quarter, and one of the things I wanted to do is to not only talk about the stuff that we've gotten taken care of, but those things that are new for us that we're getting involved with. The one we're most proud of right now, I think, would be the legislative open Q&A meeting that's being led by Jason Harrison. One of the things that we were looking for that we had heard from our members is that they didn't understand how to go about uh, doing the process of talking to legislators, talking to the staff. What kind of things were they looking for? How was best uh, get connected to them? And and we've now had this for 5 or 6 months. We've been running the meeting monthly, and this time we had a record number of attendees. We had 10 total attendees, and there was five open non committee members that are coming now on a regular basis. And a great thing is that they are looking for what they want to do within the committee, even a month out and 2 months out, because they now see what it is that they want to do, and they are coming up with their own questions. So we look forward to the next several months as everybody follows up and gets the new questions to answer. The second item that we're really thrilled by is the legislative brochure project headed up by Ted and the marketing committee. I can't forget them. In fact, that's one of the places I think we have sent the brochure to them to get vetted and add pictures and add marketing touch, so that we can have this available as a PDF or the like on the website, so that you can easily bring that down, print it, and be ready with a leave behind kind of a brochure to use with legislators. The third thing that is a new item that we're thrilled with Mark Jennings heading this up, the National Legislative Calendar Project. We are generating a calendar for all 50 states, and it will have within the calendar a listing of those things that are most important to us, not not to everybody else necessarily, but the things that are important to us, so that if you don't or haven't been talking to a legislator or don't know what's happening in your state, this is a spreadsheet that's on the website, and you can go to it and find out who's doing what to whom and why, and figure out when things are scheduled to be legislated. So that's a great project that Mark has been involved with. The legislative video project we've had for some time now, and I think we have gotten it to to Nicole and her team, I believe now, so that they will clean it up from where it has been. This is our first one. It took longer than we hoped, but we're hoping that we can do 5 or 10 more that will be YouTube friendly, and will be available from the YouTube site so that anybody who is interested can go to it and find out what we're doing and what it is that we're trying to do with the legislators. And so these are 5 to 10 minute um, little how-to snippets that will go to our folks. Let's see here. Oh, the meeting with the legislators. This is another new one for us. We've started now, and with Mark Jennings is choosing a couple of sites, a couple of states that will talk to us and we'll be working with them to basically get feedback as to the material, the information, all that kind of stuff, so that we can make sure that what it is we're providing is the kinds of thing that the legislators need to have. And the last thing that we just did here a month or so ago is the CMMC seminars. Now we hope that these will be quarterly. We did it on a basis where we had three of our members could bandy back and forth with questions and answers. We had a very positive response back from the people who attended, and we are looking for another one to pop up sometime this spring. So that is all.
Well, that is a lot. This is such an interesting committee. They have so many tools that they're creating, and it's really because it's member driven, and we do need members in all of our 50 states making a difference to make change happen. I saw in the chat that Keith Nelson said that he's open to help someone one-on-one prepare for their first legislative meeting. Keith makes you feel like you can go anywhere and convince anyone of anything, and I believe that's true. So, these are really great resources that come with being a member and being involved. You don't have to be on the legislative committee to be making a difference in that way. This is information that's for everyone, so we make a difference as a society. The last report I have today is from the marketing committee, and that's by Cameron Brister.
Yeah, thanks, Heather. So sticking with the theme here, we've been busy. The marketing committee meets every 2 weeks on Thursday afternoons for an hour at 3:30 Central Time. So anytime anyone wants to join, by all means, feel free to hop in. We'd love to have you. We work really closely with Nicole's team and the other committees to bring relevant messaging to our current members and to prospective members. And so a lot of the things that you're seeing on social media, we're working very closely to help craft that messaging and make that relevant to our industry. We're also working with the Legislative Committee on educational materials like the brochure. So that's another project that we've got currently happening. As Nicole mentioned earlier, we've got a great relationship with Channel Pro. They've been a great vendor partner, and they're really helping us promote the organization. So on social media and other channels, right now we're just kicking off a project where we're looking for IT service providers who are interested in sharing their story, anything that they have around how professionalism has, improved your business, how professionalism impacts our industry. Myself and another one of our members and marketing committee members, David Phillips, just sat in last week, and we're working on a profile that Channel Pro will be featuring and will help highlight the organization and our mission. And so they've really been great partners. So definitely thanks to them for that. They've also generously given time to the NSITSP to speak at the Channel Pro live events, a time slot there to speak. And then also we've got a booth there. So if you're attending, any Channel Pro event, or any of these, IT service provider centric events, by all means, if you can represent the organization, even just say hello, definitely let us know. You can email admin@nsitsp.org if you can get in on any of that. Another thing that the marketing committee is working on is really driving social media engagement. We're very active on the primary social media channels. I'll say that LinkedIn is probably where we're seeing the most traction so far, but we're really also looking to gain traction on those other social media platforms. So, what we would encourage you to do is engage with all of the posts. Likes are great, but honestly, commenting on posts and then sharing those posts really, really make a difference. And those are just some of the things that we need to help the organization gain traction on the social platforms and gain that exposure. You'll see here on this slide, we've got a couple of QR codes that'll just take you right to the LinkedIn page and the Facebook page. So you can like that if you're not currently, make sure you're following us there. And then the third QR code that we've got there is a link to our social media kit where we provide logos, some sample hashtags, and other content that you can use in your social media posts. So if you're a NSITSP member, help us promote the organization, help us promote professionalism in the industry. The next thing that we wanted to highlight here is our webinar series. The NSITSP continues to host incredibly valuable webinars on a number of topics. Last week's webinar on MSP valuation and growth was super informative, no matter what stage of business you're in. So, if you didn't catch that live, make sure to hop on the website and catch the recording. Just some of the other topics we've covered here in past webinar events, how AI is revolutionizing customer service, how bad customer interactions impact your bottom line, topics like CMMC, building a culture of processes. And so we've just got such a number of valuable webinars that we've had. We're always looking for more topics, for more ideas. So if you've got a topic that you're interested in, or if you know someone who you think, man, this would be a great person to present to our organization, let us know. We'd love to get in touch with them. And then finally, volunteers are always needed. Like the other committees have mentioned, we're always looking for more involvement, more interaction. We want your thoughts, your ideas, and we want your help spreading the word. So if you are in any way remotely interested in joining our committee, you can reach out to me, drop a note in the webinar chat here, send an email to admin@nsitsp.org, and Nicole can get you connected there. Again, we meet every 2 weeks for 1 hour on Thursday afternoons at 3:30 Central Time. We're also currently looking for a new permanent chairperson. Andy has been with us and has done a fantastic job, but is looking to pass the torch on to someone who has a little more time to dedicate to this right now. And so if you're interested in that, by all means, reach out to us, and we'd love to have you. That's all we've got for the marketing committee.
Thank you, Cameron. And on June 5th and 6th, the Channel Pro in Columbus, there's going to be a good amount of NSITS members there, including yours truly, who doesn't get over to the United States that often. So it's one of two events I'll be at. So if you are there, please, let's go hang out at the bar, have a beer together, and we can talk about NSITSP and get a whole bunch of members to sign up right at the bar. So I think it's a good plan, and I hope to see a lot of you there. And that's it for me.
Thank you so very much, Heather. I definitely appreciate you walking us through, and for every single committee representative and committee chair for your leadership, and as well as for the committees at large. So thank you so very much. At this time, I'm going to go back and have Amy to give us an update on the activity of the society overall and our recent accomplishments. Thank you, Amy.
All right, thank you. And sorry that I'm late. I don't think I've been in a 19-minute traffic jam before. So that was my source of delay, so I apologize for that. Let's move ahead to the next slide. So I do have some highlights that I wanted to to go over, and the meeting moved on without me, so I'm going to skip over the redundant ones. Thank you, Nicole, for sharing some of those. But I want to point out what we're doing over at the board. So we've got a few actions in this last quarter, right? We authorized actually the creation of a communications task force 1 year ago at our Q2 meeting in 2023. It's taken us a year, unfortunately, to get around to the point where we're ready to populate it. So I was just looking at my slide deck from last year, and that's when we actually announced the communications task force. And so now we're ready to populate that. And the job of this task force is really, really important for a mature organization, and one that we hope will be large and eventful and complex one day. And that's really been the goal of this board, to build out the structure of a national organization, even though we may not quite be there yet, but we want that infrastructure to be in place. And this is a piece of that. So the job of this task force is going to be able to come up with templated documents and sound bites for rapid response to cyber, privacy, and legislative situations that arise. Right? The goal is for our members to be able to use those in response to media requests for quotes. And that's part of the legislative committee's action, is to get our members known so that when when that issue hits the fan, and it will someday, our members will get the call. They'll have those relationships in place, and you'll know exactly the messaging that we want to go forth with as an organization. In this task force, in addition to that, we're also going to make sure really that the overall messaging of the organization is consistent in language and appearance. And so what we need now are volunteers to populate it. We're starting off this committee with myself and Howard Cohen, and we need you to join us. I'm confident that we've got members out there with this skill set. I've been amazed and impressed with how well we've been able to populate all of our committees internally, and I'm excited to get this one going. It's been something I've wanted to see for a year now. So you can email me, amy@thirdtier.net, and I'll stick that in the chat, or you can mail Nicole at admin@nsitsp.org to get signed up for that, or just ask me questions about it, right? Whatever you need to do. We would like you to volunteer, and let's get that one going. And then we also created the Professional Development Committee, which is going to be our big announcement for this Q2 meeting. So I'm not going to really spoil that, except to say that this has been a goal of the organization from the very beginning. That eventually we want to see a type of an accreditation program, and the creation of this Professional Development Committee is a step in that direction, and they're going to tell you all about what it is that they're doing to move us forward. Super exciting. And then finally, we are entering into a strategic planning process, which is going to be led by our executive director. And we're kicking that off this month and continuing that in June at that Channel Pro meeting that was just mentioned, where we're all going to be. And this is the first time that the board has ever gotten together in person. And we're here at our 3-year anniversary of the organization. So that is really something that we've never actually met in person before. It's been all a virtual effort, and a very effective one, but there's nothing like being together in person. So we're really looking forward to that. I hope that you will all join us for that Channel Pro meeting in June, because we'll be there right beside you attending it. We'll have a table in the vendor hall, and then we'll be having our meetings there as well. So looking forward to that. Next slide, please. A couple of these were already mentioned, so I won't be redundant. I did also want to note, though, that we participated again in the ChannelWise Coaching Cafe at the Channel Partners Channel Futures event. And this is an opportunity for our members to provide free coaching services at the event for the attendees and really showcase our expertise and help out our peers. And this is the second time that ChannelWise has invited us to participate in that, and it's always a great event. So we really appreciate that opportunity from our partner. And then I was interviewed by Marvin B. for an hour about NSITSP in his IT business podcast. I do have the recording of that podcast linked over in our blog, so have a listen to that because we spent an entire hour, just the two of us, talking about this organization, where we've been, what we're doing, what our future is, kind of the whole big picture stuff. So definitely do give that a listen. Marvin is a veteran podcaster. I think this is episode 605. So he's really out there and active in the community. And in that, you will hear me pressure and Marvin agree to become a sponsor of this organization, which he did. So we're excited to have him as part of our community. Next slide, please. All right. I wanted to just take a minute here to highlight the stuff that's in our resources tab. Now, the legislative committee and the marketing committee just sort of told you a lot about what those are, but there's the UL. Hey, Marvin, don't try to back out on me now. I see you in the chat. Say what? That's you, Marvin. All right, on our resources tab over on the website is where you find all that stuff. And I'm glad that the committee reports included the hard work that they're doing, the stuff they have posted there, because it's really important. So in addition to the items that they mentioned, I also highlight again our code of ethics. We would like all of you to adopt the code of ethics for your business. You can just adopt this one straight out of the gate, which is what I did for my MSP, or you can take that and modify it to your desire. But we want to see you post a code of ethics and tell your customers and your potential customers that you have integrity, that it will help you stand out from your competitors. If you go around and look at other people's websites, it's not there. Right, so this is something that you can do. You can also get your NSITSP logos there and get those up on your website. And there's some other interesting things too. There's our webinar recordings up there and how to contact your state rep is an item that I wanted to call out as well, because as I mentioned with the communications committee, we have to build that relationship with media and then also with our representatives so that we will get the call when the time comes. Next slide, please. Finally, I want to call attention to the blog. I think a lot of people don't know that we have a blog. We have not promoted the content of the blog very well, but we're going to improve upon that. And so this is a list of some recent articles that have been published out there, right? We're trying to use this as a news source to let you know what's happening with NSITSP, as well as posting up some blog information when something occurs that affects all of our businesses, right? You know, the FCC restored net neutrality recently. There's been two really important changes to employment law of when a person is considered overtime. And those are significant changes that affect every one of you that has employees. There's our volunteer opportunities out there. There have been changes also to the definition of contractor that are coming down from the federal level. And a lot of states already have this, but it's sort of leveling the playing field across the states, which often makes sense if you're a multi-state entity. It sometimes gets difficult when we've got 50 different laws to deal with. So there's been a lot of updates there. Please put that on your RSS list. Remember to go there and check it out. And because we're posting up some really nice content that I think you'll enjoy. This myself and Carl Palichuk are the bloggers up there right now. So if you would like to submit a guest blog post, we welcome that too. So send that over to me, send that over to Nicole, and we'll get that posted. So a nice opportunity for you to put another feather in your cap and let your partners, your customers know that that your thought leader out there. And then finally, I just wanted to thank the committees, because these are the folks that make the organization work. These are the people that do all the hard work of the organization. And as you've heard, everyone has been super busy and productive. I just continue to be really, really impressed with all of you. So thank you for your volunteerism. And that's all I have. So let's get on to that big announcement, Nicole.
Thank you, Amy. At this time, I'm going to transition to Carl Palachuk, who is going to walk us through this exciting announcement that has great potential for all of our members and our organization at large. Carl, please.
Thank you. Well, I was given 10 to 15 minutes, so that's kind of what we have left. So with luck, we'll get through all of this and maybe stick around for some questions. First of all, huge shout out, not just to the committees, but to the specific people who are on our task force for this. Cameron, you've talked to Tracy, Jason, Heather, you've met all of them today. And they were all on this committee, and I chose them for the task force because they're all super, super involved. And, and actually, Cameron doesn't believe he's the chair of his committee, but he is. And Tracy and Jason are the chairs of their committees. All of our committees have done an amazing job of working together. You may have missed the fact that legislative is working with marketing is working with governance is working with everybody, finance is working with marketing. It's amazing how much they've done. So we have also we've got some things we're going to announce today. The badges that are here, I'm going to go through in a little bit of detail, but the folks at Channel Wise, Catherine Rose, who designed our logo, has also agreed to design the badges. So we don't have badges to show you, but we will talk about them. So the board of directors approved the report from the task force and then said the task force is now a committee. I headed up the task force, but it's not good for me to be the chair of a committee because I have a conflict of interest, and you'll see why in a minute. So we need a committee chair and we need committee members. And all of the members of this committee will be elected in August at the elections. But in the meantime, we need about 7 people to step up and be on the professional development committee. So email admin@nsitsp.org and say, I want to be on the professional development committee. We particularly would like to have a couple of vendors who are educators to give us their perspective on this. All righty, next slide, please. So the founding member badge is pretty straightforward. If you were a member before January of 2023, then we were going to recognize all of those people, and your profile on our site will have an extra badge that will say that you are a founding member. And so, and at the time, we did not have the current membership organization. So these are individual badges, but also a vendor who was a member back then and is still a vendor partner will get this badge. All righty, next. The client endorsed badge. So early on, we had a program to get people to have endorsements from clients. 87 people finished that process. But now we're opening it up to everybody else. So once we have a badge to give you, 87 people will start out as being client endorsed. And, for liability reasons, blah, 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 insert words here. We can't say that you're endorsed by NSITSP. That might happen in the future. Today, we don't have the insurance for it. But to say that you are client endorsed is huge. And I think it's important because I would love to see people start sharing your profile with your clients and your prospects, put it on your LinkedIn. And as you accumulate these badges, it will be something where you can say, hey, we're client endorsed. And so when people do searches, if you go to the profile search on our website, You can search for all kinds of stuff, and you'll be able to search by check a box. I want somebody who's client endorsed. So that will be very cool. And so that program is still in place, and we're going to blog a little bit about it so that you can get on board if you haven't already. And then eventually we will have a badge attached to your profile. Next, and obviously we'll take questions at the end because I'm going as fast as I can. The leader badge. So this is fairly obvious. The folks who have served on the board or on special task force or committees are going to get a designation for the most recent year that they served. So if you served on a committee in 2024 or 2023 or whatever, you will have a little badge with the year designation. And, you know, this is partly just we want to recognize all the people who participate. You know, it's quite telling that neither Amy nor I produced any of this webinar until very late in the game today, which means we have a group of great people who are running this show, and we need to recognize that this is an organization of everybody, not an organization of just a couple of people. So we are going to recognize our leaders with these badges. Next, please. All right. So the ambassador badge, the ambassador badge, the task force decided to have a couple of different variations, a few different. So an ambassador is somebody who basically represents us out in the community. And it might be that they recruited other members, or that they were particularly powerful in volunteering for one thing or another, or that they are very vocal on social media. In the future, you know, we'll have some additional designations for this. But basically, we're going to have a program where you can be nominated by your committee chair or yourself or another paid member. That basically, you know, we want people to say, hey, you know, we don't have a badge for everything, but did you do something significant for our organization? We want to give you the opportunity to be recognized for that. And again, brag about it to your clients and your prospects and to other IT professionals. So look for those coming up. Next. The continuing education badge. So this one is going to grow over time, but right now the incarnation is that this is going to be an individual badge, and we're going to have to figure out the details, but basically this will be for people who have attended a number of our webinars over the previous 12 months. So to get this badge, you basically need to participate, show up at our events, and you know, participate in those webinars and meetings and so forth. So again, the details are going to be worked out over the coming months, but this is one of just participating in our professional organization. Next. And now here's the biggie, the professional badge. This is kind of a, I don't know, for me, this is one of the biggies that I've been wanting to do for 3 years now. To get this badge, you need to have been client endorsed. So that's kind of the prerequisite. And you need to either have our code of ethics or some other code of ethics posted on your website. And I just think that that's one of the most fundamental elements of being a professional, is that we hold each other accountable to these standards. You know, I'm just amazed, even today, after decades of doing this. You know, you go online and you look at the forums and you see people who abuse their employees, abuse their clients, they rip people off. You know, there's federal investigations of managed service providers. It's ridiculous. Everyone should have a code of ethics on their website and have standards by which they can be held accountable. So those are the prerequisites. Next slide. And then to get the badge, you need to have proof of insurance, proof that you have some association with the Secretary of State, whether that is a business license or, you know, something that your Secretary of State designates that in your state you are an ongoing business, proof of workers' comp, and a business license. Now, all of those are public documents. So, you know, people shouldn't freak out that we're asking you to put out something that is not already public. And basically, we're going to have a process for you to be able to uh, you know, send those to us. Someone will verify that they're legit. And basically, this is part of the most fundamental element of being a professional in any industry. We're not asking people to do anything different than they should be doing already. You should have insurance, right? We're not asking for cybersecurity. We're not asking for errors and emissions or, whatever. Basic liability is literally lower than the lowest bar everybody should have on this in this industry. And you have some association with the Secretary of State, whether it's a corporation or LLC or even a sole proprietor. You're doing business in your state. You're paying taxes, I hope. Um, so those are the basic elements. And moving forward, thank you. Our committee is charged with developing a new program for continuing education credits. And so this will be for all of those places where you take classes on how to be a better IT consultant. We want to develop a program to encourage people to take those classes and to brag about them and to share them with each other. So that's something that's going forward. And so if you want to be part of that committee, we would love to have you. So please, please, please join us. And Eric says in the comments, you really should have, I 100% agree. But we're setting the bar low enough that everybody should at least be able to say, I have liability. So cool. With that, I'm open to questions on this, or maybe it's just at the end of the hour. We're open to everybody for questions on anything. Keith, will you give us credit for classes we teach at accredited universities? Good question. Why don't you join our committee and encourage us to discuss that? Other folks, comments? You can also open your microphone. This is an open meeting. So are there any exceptions to these? I have liability, but no employees, so I'm not required to have workers' comp. True enough. Yeah, if you're not required to have workers' comp, check the box. I'm not required to have that. That's cool. That's true for a lot of people who have no employees, right? I literally yesterday dropped my workers' comp because I no longer have W-2 employees. So that is totally legit. Other comments, questions? Do you guys like this? I will say, just as a side note, before we close, in case people don't have questions, I think everybody on this call is probably a paid member, but there's got to be at least 5 of you that have a friend who's not a paid member. Please email them right now while we're talking and get them to join, because I would love to end this call with 1,000 members. That would be awesome. We like Badgers. Yes, Steve. Also the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Steve likes Badgers and badges.
Other folks, any comments from folks on the task force that helped develop this? I know we went through it super, super, super fast, but we will have the details of each of them as they roll out.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this is a work in progress. So join the committee, and if you've got strong feelings one way or another, to make this the best plan, make this fit our society the best way it can.
And I'll just add one thing too, kind of building on what Carl said earlier. The purpose of the badge program is to highlight within ourselves and our community the achievements that we have that we've realized, but also too the ultimate goal here is to make the NSITSP and our profile page a resource to direct your prospective clients, your vendor partners, anyone that you're looking to show, hey, we're professional, we take business seriously. Here are the things we do that prove that. So really, this is kind of the first step in making this, a just a way to um, highlight that, right, and make this a place to direct your clients and your prospective clients.
I'd like to just bring up a comment. It kind of relates to the badges. As someone that goes to a couple of when I can, events to try and promote the NTSP, whatever, all the letters. I'd like to see some of this become more forward facing. So maybe I'm dumping some work on the marketing committee, even where we can buy, name tags with the badges to start spurring on the conversations as we stand at a booth.
That's a good idea.
People asking, what exactly you do. So I think a lot of that stuff would be helpful for us.
Physical badges as well as virtual badges. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Keith. I think that would be really cool to have, or maybe the physical badge with stickers or in physical name tag, maybe with stickers we can apply for the various badges. I guess it depends what they end up looking like or what, but I love that idea.
Yeah.
Could even do the name tag adornments, right?
Yeah.
For the badge, when you get the badge, you get the name tag adornment, and then you can stick it on your name tag as those little things that hang down below. Those would be nice too. There'll be conversation starters for sure.
Yeah, I was even thinking back to Rotary with the Pro badge, where it's really pronounced, and I think that's a discussion, a crown or something. Yeah.
Also, this is Howard. Sorry, my camera died on me. If we're starting to do physical representations of the importance of what we're doing, we should probably also consider some kind of certificate that our members can proudly display on their office wall.
Absolutely.
Right
So,
behind them here when they're in a meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with a nice big NSITSP logo.
Yep,
not,
you got a second over in the comments for that. Yeah.
not as big as the University of Virginia graduation certificate, but close, like 3 feet, not 4 feet.
Yeah, maybe yeah, right. Maybe just 3 feet, like, just with
All right, let's
a
go.
with a decent size logo.
Let's go poster size already. Come on.
You got a second on the membership certificate from Eric
I'm
over in the
I'm
chat.
I'm
So
I'm talking about a professional certificate.
yeah.
You can put it right up next to your master's degree and your doctorate, your professional certificate.
So are you think so again, that's for the committee, but are you thinking that that would be for everybody who's a member, a paid member, or just for people who reach certain
People,
like the
you laid it out perfectly, Carl. People who fulfill the minimal obligations of a professional that we're defining right here. I think it speaks volumes to what we're doing. The code of ethics, as well as all the other requirements for that, to earn that. Why not be that agency that conveys that, yeah, we've really done the work to be able to call ourselves a professional.
Right. There was also a question about the code of ethics.
Bottom up. I'd like it to be an add-on. I'm always for the little guy. I think you become a member and post the code of ethics, and you have a certificate to start the conversation, because we deal on different levels, and we have guys that are running smaller businesses that don't have as much time as some of us to invest in all that, but they're sure talking to other MSPs and can help us get the word out. And I think they're vital to our effort. And I think that's kind of a lot of our base is helping these, us elderly people who have been in it for a while, is helping these ones get going. And I'd like to see them really involved and decorated for just starting out.
Keith, I think you hit the magic word, which is levels. There's no reason we can't have certificates of achievement at various levels, leading to an ultimate. I mean, it's not really dependent totally on size. It's dependent upon what you do. You know, a single doctor can be a doctor. Doesn't have to be part of a practice. He can create a practice. So
What you want to make sure that we're really clear on is that it is clear for one of your clients to see it and make it at a glance know, oh, this is what I'm looking for. Definitely all four levels of different items like that if they have the code of ethics, but we shouldn't be playing with that professional word unless they are at that level, because we
absolutely.
want to make it very, very clear so that people will use it, because if it's complicated, then they won't. So we just need to make it very clear that these are the standards for professional, and that you know, those definitions can change, but we want to keep that bar where it needs to be.
And the good news is we can agree with both you and Keith, because yeah, I totally agree with what you just said, Heather.
Carl, did the task force set forth a vision at all? Would you guys work just, let's get some badges going?
What do you mean a vision?
A vision for where this is going, right? So we've just heard from some of our members about, new ideas and levels in the spectrum of professionalism and things like that. I think maybe this is something, once the committee's populated with elected members in August, I would really like to see kind of a vision statement from them of how they see this growing and what the ultimate goal is and such.
Well, first of all, I'll note what Tracy put in the comments, that this is a starting place, right? This is literally day one, right? So the badges will evolve, and they will be what the organization needs them to be. And if people are like, hey, this badge should have a flag, and that one should have a certificate, and that one should have a close in a badge you can put on your sport coat. We'll do all that. The committee, the Professional Development Committee, met for the first time as a committee yesterday. And one of the things we talked about is to develop a charter like the other committees. So that is literally on the agenda. We are meeting on the first, was it the first Monday of every month? I believe it is. First Tuesday of every at 8 a.m. Pacific, and that will be listed in the, on the website and so forth. But if you're interested, email admin@nsitsp.org and or me, Carl P. at smallbizthoughts.com, and we will get you on the list and make sure that you get an invitation to the next meeting. But yeah, a charter and a vision and kind of a reason for existing is all on the agenda for the next meeting, along with first steps towards a continuing education program. And in particular, if there's classes that you've taken somewhere, we would love to get the input of the people who teach those classes. Of course, we want them to be members, and they don't have to be, a permanent member of the committee, but they're welcome to join in and sit on our conversation and talk to us about what the future looks like.
I'd like to say I really like where you're going. I think too much, which is probably my problem. But I'm looking at this as developing into even a mentoring program where we're really helping people using maybe those levels, and having some people that have been in the business for a long time really give back and help members understand the importance
Bravo.
of
Yep.
So I like where you're going. I know I threw more work on someone's plate, but I just was thinking that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that harkens back to 3 years ago when we started the first conversations. One of the things that's missing in our industry is a real apprenticeship, a real mentorship type program that's recognized. So, that's got to come from somewhere. Might as well be us.
Yeah, I like it. I like where it's going.
Eric says there's definitely a place for a basic membership certificate. So, Eric, sounds like you should join us and be on our committee.
Even in there, he mentions he's a member of the ham radio, the amateur radio. And it's those kinds of experiences that we can actually utilize the experiences that you've had there, understand what, the other groups do and see if those things make sense for us as well. We don't always have to reinvent the wheel.
Yep. Cool. Other comments, questions?
Sounds like everybody is excited about this, so I'm glad to see all the comments and likes and everything going on in the chats for this.
Yeah.
It's
And
been
to be honest, if you disagree, also join the committee and tell us why. Tell us like, oh no, you guys shouldn't do this. We should all be amateurs and we should just work out of our trunks and whatever.
it's a time-honored tradition in our industry.
Exactly.
Carl Malik's roving IT show.
I laugh at that trunk slammer comment because I'm not a small company, but 99% of the time I live out of my, just by choice, trunk in Panera's and Starbucks because I don't like sitting in my home office.
Mm.
So I don't like that comment in that sense. I go like, that's not an indicator.
Well,
no, that's not, but there is, you do run into these people. There was a guy called Uncle Ron that got himself associated with a larger client of mine some years back. And it was a real estate client with over 200 agents. And he would roll up in his van, literally, and have like used printers in there and swap out
Wow.
people's new printers for the used printers. And he would refill cartridges in the parking lot. And he would we actually had a little mini crowbar for opening computer cases. He didn't really use the screws. So these people do exist. And, they're troublesome for the
I
rest
like
of us
people
usually.
that use time saving though, Amy. I like the crowbar. I'm going with that.
exactly.
The crowbar is a strong choice, but you can, hey Keith, you can blame you can blame Arnie Bellini for the trunk slammer comment, I think.
Is that where it came from?
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that's where it came from. That's where I certainly first heard it, and that was a damn long time
yeah,
ago.
I'm sure it was around before that. I mean, at some point, we all, back in the days of hardware, we all had hardware in our car. Doesn't mean it was your entire operation. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
So someone said it to me one time, and I said, "Yeah, but it's an awfully nice trunk."
That's right. All right. Well, we've got some people signing off, and I think we've just about covered everything and appreciate all the live chats and comments today. So thank you everybody for attending and tolerating my tardiness. That's
Great,
not
great
not
meeting,
a
guys. Thank
normal
you.
thing for me. So thank you.
Thank you all. Great
Well,
to have you all be here.
All right.
take
Goodbye,
care.
everybody. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next quarter.
Bye now.
Bye.